Hello, and welcome back to CDMPTV. And today we're going to be talking about all things Stranger Things 4, and we've got a replacement for Saul, a better replacement, some would say, in Leon.
Hello.
Where do you just want to start with the opening scene?
Yeah, first episode.
It blew me away, the opening scene. They released it early, didn't they? They released the first 8 minutes early.
Shut up. Do you know when 11 sends him into the Upside Down and like opens a gate?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know she could do that and like turn him into Vecna, if that makes sense.
I don't understand.
From, like,
that hasn't really been explained.
like
how
how's like he went in, got struck by lightning.
We don't understand how like the Upside Down works as a thing. Like
Exactly.
how does 11 just open a portal to another dimension? We don't really know that yet, but I'm sure that might be explained at the end of season 4. Or
Good
or
bit
five.
of enigma codes there.
what?
Good bit of enigma.
Yeah.
I don't think he was sent to the Upside Down.
Well,
Where do you think he was sent?
So, you know, when he was in Max's mind and then she went into like the red bit,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think he was more sent to there and then like, well, I don't really know anything about it, but
Yeah, we don't know
then
anything
he's
about
made
that.
some sort of like
Yeah,
deal
'cause
with the mind flayer.
That was like a completely different place, the Upside Down. Like it was, the Upside Down's mainly like blue, and like that was completely red.
that's true.
Yeah.
And that was like sort of like Vecna's like mind kind of thing, because like you're seeing all the different things from his past, like the clock and that.
He also
I still
says like,
think-
why are you here?
I still
Yeah.
think the Mind Flayer's in control of the whole of Upside Down. I think he's still.
I think he's controlling Vecna still.
I think Vecna's doesn't have control because obviously he wasn't put there by choice.
Yeah.
So I think honestly it's been Vecna all along. Like you said, I think
But
Vecna
that's
was the one who
theory,
took
isn't it?
Will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when the Demigorgon took Will, how's the Demigorgon like opening
Opened
the doors
the
and
gates.
that and like stuff
Exactly.
like that? I don't understand.
And then how was Will even surviving that long?
Yeah. And people are saying it could be because Will was singing "Should I Stay, Should I Go," but that because like to get away from Vecna.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen that song's #1? Running up the hill, Kate Bush.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's #1 like worldwide. Yeah, it's #1 because that scene's so iconic. I think Max's character was probably the highlight of the series.
Yeah.
And well, especially the first 4 episodes, like how they dealt with her trauma and that.
Talking about plotline, I think Jonathan, Mike, and Will were just neglected this
The
whole way.
biggest part.
They,
Like-
weren't even in the last episode at all.
No,
They were
not at all.
completely in it. Like it was kind of just a comedic relief for
Exactly.
most of
With
the
Argyle.
episodes.
What, is it Argyle?
Argyle, yeah. Argyle
Yeah.
was a good character to introduce.
I liked him, to be fair.
Well, it was quite good when they were in the house shootout though.
Yeah, that was.
Alright,
That
Yeah,
was
I like that.
After that scene, though, it just went downhill from there. After that
Yeah.
scene, but it was alright when Elle was there. But then after that scene, I don't think it was great. One thing that Leon said was the trailer revealed too much, and I agree with that. Like, imagine if we didn't know the Demigorgon was coming back,
Oh, that's true,
and
yeah.
then in the
Yeah.
final scene, because we were seeing that in the trailer. Like, imagine we didn't know Vecna was a thing. Like, that would have been amazing seeing that for
Exactly.
the first time. They revealed like far too much in the trailer. They even revealed like shots from the end of the season.
There's a full trailer for Volume 2.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
after watching that trailer, I think that, I mean, Joyce and Hopper still don't know that Vecna exists.
Yeah.
I think one of them, which I think is going to be Murray, I think Murray's going to die.
I said Murray could die.
And then Enzo is
Enzo could die as well.
And Enzo's going to go with Hopper and Joyce back to Hawkins because they got to go back to Hawkins at some point.
Yeah, I think we're going to get
Yeah.
a big meet-up, like all the characters come back to Hawkins. I don't know how
Exactly.
we're going to get Hopper from Russia to Hawkins, though.
I don't know.
How we're going to
Well, they're just gonna get on a plane, aren't they?
Yeah, probably. But there was another scene in the trailer where it looked like it was like the Mind Flayer, like the shadow of the Mind Flayer
Yeah.
like, in a container in Russia. So I don't know how that works either. But did they even really need to release another trailer for
No.
Part 2?
No,
Like, everyone's
probably
going to
not.
watch it anyway. You can't not watch Volume 2 after watching Volume 1.
I think the fact that, this is relevant to what you were saying, but the fact that they've neglected Jonathan, I think is setting up that Steve and Nancy are getting like back together. Like I think they'll end up getting back together, but I don't like it. I think especially in season 2 and 3, they neglected it for us to like Jonathan.
Yeah, they've built up Jonathan and Nancy's relationship.
And now
through
it's
3
just
seasons.
they neglected him again.
Yeah.
And I liked him and Nancy's relationship.
Yeah, it was. But obviously, like a lot of people like Steve and Nancy, but I feel like Steve could die because Nancy's.
No.
You know, I think Steve.
I
could
don't
die.
think they will because what's the director's name?
The
Russell
Duffer Brothers.
Oh, yeah, not the Russell Brothers. The Duffer Brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, they said that. I think it was them said that if Steve leaves, then they'll walk away because they like Steve. So I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Steve's going to be in season 5 no matter what.
I think Steve is like the fan favorite character, isn't he? And
Yeah,
there's still
exactly.
room
I think
for his
Eddie's
character.
gonna die.
Yeah.
I agree
Yeah.
because the fact that every season, so season 1, we had Barbara who died.
Bob, yeah.
Season 2, we
Bob.
had Bob who died. Season 3,
Yeah.
we had Alexi, and now we've got Eddie. I
And
think
they're like
Eddie's
all
gonna
new
die.
characters that have been introduced that were like fan favorites, and then
Exactly.
they've been killed off. So yeah, I could, and I also think Max has still got a high chance of dying because the
Yeah.
letters she wrote, I don't think they would write them letters for no reason.
Exactly.
I feel like.
Well, even if Eddie doesn't die, then there's going to have to like find a way to cover up that he's not murdering loads of
that's
people.
Because you can't have the whole town finding out that.
Or
like,
else everyone's going to find out about the Upside Down.
yeah, you can't have
If
the
that
whole town finding
happens,
out.
then what's going to
Maybe
happen?
that will happen though in season 5's like bigger
War.
scale. Yeah, like war. I don't know how they would do that. I don't know how they're going to top the scale of this season.
No,
like
I don't know.
it's the
I think
biggest
it's just
scale
going to
show
be
ever.
the Mind Flayer. And it should, like, the actual Mind Flayer, and season 5's going to end with the Upside Down no longer existing
I think
somehow.
I think Vecna could be the big bad of the show, and
Really?
there's still stuff that we haven't learned about.
They said
Vecna.
he was just the 5-star general.
But they said that, but they could be wrong. Like Dustin is normally right, but he's not necessarily always right.
Yeah, exactly.
And one other thing the show does really well is like duos. Like we've got like Steve and Dustin. It's a really good duo.
I've always loved that duo.
And then in this season we have the new one like Nancy and Robin. Like, that was a really good
Yeah.
combination. They always find really good like character combinations to put together.
See, people have a theory that they could be like a lesbian couple, but I feel like Nancy wouldn't.
I feel like
I don't know, I feel like it's not going
Nancy's
down
already
that.
got 2 love interests.
Exactly.
To bring a third in would be like going too far. There's loads of love interest in the show already. And Robin has a love interest, doesn't she?
Exactly,
Like, earlier in
Yeah,
the show.
Vicky.
A lot of
think it
people
was.
like on social media are a little bit annoyed about that because like she got a character poster, which is barely in the show, unless they're going to bring her back into volume 2. But I can't see how they're going to bring it to volume 2 because there's so much needs to be explained in volume 2 still.
Yeah, exactly.
There is still like 4 hours.
Yeah, the last episode's 2 hours 20 minutes or something crazy like that.
Even though the episodes are really long, I think the pace is actually pretty fast. The fact that we saw Chrissy die,
Yeah.
it was in the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw her die in the first episode, which
Yeah.
I wouldn't normally expect.
I didn't expect to see Vecna in the first episode.
No,
and I
neither.
did. I think it's because we've got basically four different storylines going on. It like
Yeah.
speeds up the pace of the show because you've got like different storylines, different characters. So many characters now. Like they can't be adding any more new characters in the new season. Season 5, they can't be adding new characters.
I think
There's so
they
many.
think they still will.
They still will, yeah.
There'll
yeah.
be like an extra.
That's why I think they've got to kill 2 or 3 off because they can't have this like amount of characters going to the last season.
Well, watching the Volume 2 trailer, you can see Max. Do you know when Chrissy dies and there's like wood planks behind
Yeah,
her?
you can
see
see-
Max with them.
you
So
can
I
see.
think Max could die. I think Eddie could die for the reason of it being a new character. I
I
think
see him playing the guitar, which is the music.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Vecna.
Yeah, he's like distracting the
Um,
bat.
in part of it as well, you see Lucas like basically crying and
Oh,
like
yeah.
crouched
And
down. So I
wasn't it,
think
like a cast member came out and Lucas had the contacts in.
exactly.
and
So I
the
think it could be
contacts were, like-
Lucas or it could be
Yeah.
Erica. And if you've seen
No,
Erica,
Erica's a bit
They,
too
they,
young.
they can't kill
surely.
Erica. She's a bit too young. She's like a comedic relief character. I don't think they could.
exactly, like
I
she's
think it's
finally
Lucas. It's more
aged
likely
up.
Lucas.
And Will.
The thing is, though, have they got the audacity to kill off one of the main 4 boys? Like, I know they're not even the main 4 boys now because they're not even like the main
Yeah,
characters
exactly.
anymore. But the where they started the show, them and Elle started the show basically. So have they got the audacity to kill off one of them characters?
It makes
That's the
sense
thing.
for Max to die because of the letters, but it also makes sense for Will to die because what about if he dies and then Mike sees the
painting
painting?
that
Because I
he's
think
done.
that painting is him and Mike.
Yeah, could be.
Because I just think we're going to see it at some point in the season. He's going to admit his feelings to Mike.
But I think we've got to see Will's coming out story, which is
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
soon. But if they just kill him off, then like that's just kind of a waste for it. I think they need to keep Will for the last season. I wouldn't necessarily be happy. I know he hasn't done much this season, but I still want him to be like a big part of the final season.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that connected to it all first, wasn't he? He was the one. The show started because of him going missing.
Yeah,
Stuff
exactly.
Like that.
I thought the painting was linked to the Mind Flayer somehow.
Oh yeah, could
Like,
be.
because he
be.
was
'Cause
linked to
he-
it in the 3rd season.
Yeah,
So it
he-
might be like a vision of the future.
Well,
potentially.
And they've done that in all the seasons where they just randomly draw and then
Yeah.
one of the matches are open and
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Nancy this season, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I
With
don't
the
exactly.
Real
understand
House.
how she did that.
Yeah, that was a bit far fetched. To be fair, they couldn't. There was no way you'd be able to do that. The Crate House stuff was my favourite stuff of the season, though. It
Yeah,
reminded us
exactly.
of, like, have any of you seen American Horror Story?
no.
No.
The house in that is like they've definitely got the inspiration from that house. It looks so similar. I think Vecna is an inspiration from Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Ye-
Freddy Krueger was in it, like the actor.
Yeah, exactly.
It definitely was. And like, the fact that he comes in your dreams or like so you're into your mind kind of thing.
Exactly.
And the whole Crate House stuff was just terrifying.
Well, I just didn't think. I clicked on about him and being number 1, but I didn't think like the son, the Creel's son, and Vecna being the same person.
I could
I
never
didn't-
have guessed he was Victor Creel's son. That
No.
was one
Yeah.
of the biggest like shocks I've ever seen.
But it kind of makes sense that the son didn't die, because didn't the daughter die as well?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because the son went in a coma, didn't he? Because he couldn't like fully use his powers. He had limitations still.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he went in a coma, then woke up at Dr. Brenner.
I think that's a bit of like a plot hole, because it says, Victor says he managed to escape with like music, but then it says later that his son couldn't use his
Well, that's
powers
what people have
properly.
been saying.
so he
Is
went
the
in a
music
coma.
actually the thing? Because it could be memories. Because Max had all the memories,
Yeah, exactly.
and that's how she got away. And in the memories was 11, which Vecna could have just been surprised that it was 11.
Mm-hmm.
So then in Volume 2, when Eddie's trying to save by playing the music, it's not going to work and Eddie's going to die. That's one of the theories I've seen, because the music actually isn't the reason that Vecna...
It's got to be something that he didn't expect, because I mean, when Max was in the Upside Down, Vecna was like surprised that she'd got away, basically.
Yeah, but I think he might have been surprised that he's seen... Because if he was in her mind, he could
Yeah,
see
exactly.
her memories that she was seeing. Surely you would be like, oh my god, it's 11.
Yeah.
And like be surprised. That's why he let her get away briefly. He still tried to kill her,
Mm-hmm.
but like that's why he wasn't too bothered about finding it, because then his attention's like focused on 11. There's definitely going to be a showdown between 11 and Vecna
Yeah,
by the end of the season.
Maybe 11 loses, and that what leads us into season 5. Like maybe she finally loses, doesn't die, but she loses, and then the Upside Down just like kind of blows up.
Yeah,
Not blows up, but like
we don't know anything about the
contrasts
upside,
into each
we
other.
don't really know anything about the Upside Down. We learned about the lights this season, how like
Yeah.
they work, how like it worked in season 1. That was really cool. But
Okay.
apart from that, we still know like nothing about the Upside Down.
I know.
Like, it's just a parallel universe. Still, that's all we know.
Do you think it's actually stuck in the past, or is just that since that's when it opened first, just nothing's changed since then? Like
I think it
Ma-
probably is
gun,
that.
Nancy's guns just
Somebody
aren't
was
gonna
saying
appear.
like a reason for it being stuck in the past is because season 5 is going to be like a time travel kind of thing. They have to go back to the Upside Down to go back in time, to like because everything's going to go wrong at the end of season 4. They have to kind of go back in time. But I don't know how that would work, because then Will would still be like
I doubt.
11 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But a lot of big franchises end with like a time travel, like Endgame.
Yeah. Well, I think we could get, for the last 2 episodes, I think we could get 8 in from season 3.
yeah.
Because, was it season 2 or season 3?
Season 2.
Season
yeah.
2, sorry. Because 1 is basically has everyone's powers.
Mhm.
So I think he basically got tested on, and then they just brought random children in that didn't have powers. Because we haven't really explained how they got powers. Does that make sense? Like, how did he have all them
Does
powers?
it need an
Yeah.
explanation, or could it just be like he was born with like
Yeah,
powers?
he's born
like,
with
that
powers.
could be just
So
explanation. I mean, they could try and explain it, but how are they gonna do that?
I think, honestly, they obviously tested him. So we saw the spiders come out of the bath in like what he was doing to his parents, and that's basically 8 powers. She can make people see things.
Oh yeah.
So I think she
Yeah.
could come and help.
Yeah,
Against
I think
Vecna.
like one was like the test subject, and they've just maybe they've extracted some of his blood or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
and that gave that blood to other like kids like 11, and that's how they've got the powers. Because 11 hasn't got the powers where she can make people. Well, we don't know. We don't think she's got the powers where she can make people see things.
Yeah.
Right.
She might just not know how to use them properly yet.
Well, Brenner did say that it was going to get her more powerful than ever before. So maybe she
Yeah.
gets powers that she has always had, that he's been trying to make her reach.
Yeah.
But what makes no sense to me is as well, does Brenner know that Vecna exists? Because
No.
I think he still thinks that it was 11 that killed him, because he would have told 11 otherwise.
No, because he shows in the memories that it was 1 who killed them all.
Yes,
Oh,
So
that's
he was
true.
saying he wasn't telling the
Yeah.
truth.
I mean, there's so much enigma in this show.
So much
Yeah,
enigma.
Overall, though, what would you say this show is like ranks with the other seasons? Would you say it's
Honestly, I think it's a very hot take. It could be my favourite.
depending on the ending?
Yeah.
Same. I think season 1 still beats it so far. Season 1's always going to be my favourite.
Yeah, just
But if
nostalgia.
the end like matches up with the rest of the season, I think this could be the best. If you take away like the wasted storyline of like Jonathan, Will, and Mike,
Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
a perfect season. Like all the other 3 storylines build up perfectly. The Russia storyline's great. It's better than season 3 and 2 for me.
Yeah.
I'd say overall.
I feel like maybe, thinking about it now, maybe they needed to be neglected. They couldn't talk about everything. So
Yeah,
maybe in the
it's-
last
yeah.
2,
We're going to get more from
We're gonna
it,
get more from
hopefully,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're all going to meet up, so...
hopefully, they could just necessarily just not make them meet up, and it's just a separate storyline for season 5.
Yeah, hope they do meet up though. I think we need Mike and Elle to meet up.
Jonathan, I think,
we need Hopper and Elle to meet up.
yeah, I think we need Jonathan and Nancy to meet up, because
Yeah.
that would be odd. Like, imagine Jonathan, I feel bad for Jonathan, because technically he'd done
So do I,
nothing
yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, he's done
And
nothing
she
wrong,
was
yeah.
trying to blame it on him, he was trying to blame it on her,
Yeah.
and he'd done nothing wrong. So I think once he goes back, Nancy's going to say like, oh yeah, I'm in love with Steve, basically.
Yeah.
But I've just realised we got left on a cliffhanger of Nancy in the Upside Down. So where do you think that's going to go? Do you think?
Well, that brings on like the final prediction. Who do you think is going to die? Do you think
I think the most definite one I've got is like Eddie.
Eddie, yeah.
I'm saying Max, just because the letters. It's just,
That's true, but I don't know. I don't know if they'd kill off a main character, but then again, I
Think
feel
they
like they
will.
might have to.
It's getting to season 4 now. You've got to start getting to these big decisions.
But people really like Max though.
That's
Yeah.
I
true.
doubt they would kill her.
Yeah, true. What else can they do with a character though? We've
Yeah.
explored her trauma. We know her backstory. We know everything about her. Is she gonna get in a relationship with Lucas again? We don't know.
Maybe they do as she dies. Like they admit that they still.
Like
Well, I
you said,
mean,
yeah.
they still do love each other.
I've just got a picture of like Lucas reading out his letter from Max at a funeral as the last scene, with like a sad song playing. I can just picture.
I just wondered what his, because didn't she write a letter to Steve? She did, didn't she? And she's like barely spoke to Steve.
Yeah.
So like, what would them letters be?
Yeah.
So I kind of want it to die because I
kind of want to see what's in the
kind of want
letters.
to see what's in them letters.
Is that it? Is that pretty much all
Yeah.
we'll talk about? Okay.
Any other points? Sean?
Wow, I've got no points.
Thanks for watching, and Saul will probably be back next time. Thank you.
See you later.
Goodbye.
He's gonna put that in now. Right, when they seriously do this time, we're gonna have to just.
It's already on.
No.
He's doing it again.
Shut up.